The great apostasy is something many people don't talk about, but that's extremely important. But before I get to that, I have to say something else. Now look at that flying saucer in that picture there. This is one of the most famous pictures ever, maybe the most famous picture ever, colored. Now, thousands of years ago in the ancient past, when the angels were still in heaven, when some of the angels rebelled against God, they became fallen angels, and they were expelled from heaven. They came down to earth. When they came down to earth, man was already there. They deceived man. These fallen angels pretended to be gods, sky gods, and they were the ones who created all those religions and governments. The Christian God didn't create religions and governments. Religions and governments are monsters. Religions and governments were created by the fallen angels to increase our suffering and to ruin the Christian God's plans. Now when the end finally comes, the rapture and the great apostasy are going to be the main dividing things. The rapture and the first resurrection is going to separate the children of God from the great apostasy. The rapture and the first resurrection will harvest the children of God, while the great apostasy will harvest the children of Satan, and inevitably lead them to take the mark of the beast, thus damning their souls for all eternity and all infinity. Now when these things appear, they're going to appear, thousands of these things, they're going to appear one day all over the world. In every village, every town, every city. When these things appear, they're going to be demons, but they're going to be disguised as extraterrestrials. They're going to be disguised as space cosmonauts, or even interdimensional travelers. Now do not believe these things. When these extraterrestrials appear, these extraterrestrials are the same ancient fallen sky gods who deceived ancient man over 5,000 years ago. The ancient sky gods from the past are the modern UFO astronauts, and the modern UFO astronauts are the ancient sky gods from the past. These things deceived man thousands of years ago. And when they appear as extraterrestrials all over the world, they're going to appear for the final grand deception. They're going to appear just as they did thousands of years ago. And they're going to appear one last time to deceive everyone. So if you're there, or your kids are there, or your grandkids are there, you gotta warn them, don't believe these things, stay out of these things. No matter what they say, no matter what they show you, do not believe them. Do not believe them. These things, they're the ones who created all this world order, all these political systems, all these religious systems, the priest system, the elite system, they're the ones who caused all of this. These things are thousands of years old, they're still alive for now. When they were kicked out of heaven, they came down to earth in chariots, flaming chariots, and they convinced ancient man they were gods or deities. They were worshipped, they built temples, monuments, created all these ruling systems and class divisions. And here we are, 6,000 plus years later, 5,000 plus years later. These things deceived ancient man, over 5,000 years ago. And at the end of time, in the last 7 years of this world, they're gonna make a final appearance to deceive anyone they can, or everyone they can, just as they did 5,000 and some years ago. So you gotta warn people, tell people about this, tell your kids, or if you have kids, do not believe these things when they appear. Because these things are going to trigger the great apostasy. In order to destroy all faiths, especially the Christian God, you need something equally fantastic, but anti-Christian. And this is the only thing that fits that description. These things have been appearing for thousands of years, for centuries, and now for decades. It's 2023. And they've been preparing people slowly by slowly, piece by piece, like a chess game. It's all a chess game. All the world is a stage, a theater, a chess game, a game of checkers, with each making his move. These things have been appearing, delivering their philosophies, and they're planting the seeds for the final end-time deception when they finally appear for the last time. And all those appearances that are happening in the past and right now, there's an increase in mass UFO sightings right now. All of this is part of the getting the public ready for when the grand final deception comes. When the demons appear, when the fallen angels appear, they're going to be disguised as advanced technocratic travelers from space or from other dimensions, or from other planets, other galaxies, other universes, other solar systems. That's their plan. Deception through science. Science for deception. Not all science is deception, but the forces of darkness have infiltrated all or almost all institutions decades and centuries ago. Again, when these things appear, don't believe them. Don't believe them. If you're left behind, because there's going to be a colossal number of people are going to be left behind. If you're left behind, don't believe these things. Don't believe these things. Run or hide. And if you're left behind, and if the mark of the beast is introduced, the only way you can save your soul is to get killed, or to kill yourself so you can join God. But if you take the mark of the beast, you're not going to be able to join God. So don't believe these things. These extraterrestrials are the ancient fallen angels, ancient sky gods, preparing to deceive everyone else, preparing to deceive everyone one final time. Run away from them.